Okay, so share my screen. Okay, so I will first answer the question regarding part one, and then I will move to show you a demo about part two. Okay. No, I don't like this way. How do I get this back to where it was before? Yeah, okay. I'm happy with this. Okay, so first let me talk about part one on CSIF machine. So in the part one, the first part, the part one I said in the document in front of you is about installation, the JSON RPC plus C++ package. So from here until this point, wait a minute. Okay, until this point, this part is really talk about installation of JSON RPC if you want to do it on your own Ubuntu environment, such as WSL, including WSL. But if you're using CSIF machine, that this part has been already for you in the CSIF. I requested a while back, and they got it installed everything, and I tested, and some of the students already tested. It works. Okay, so this part you don't have to do. You can just neglect this part. However, you do need to have this part. A lot of students have this trouble when they get this error message saying that the JSON.h not found. So you want to do this. And the other question I do want to say is that a lot of students get into the trouble with some of the error regarding the the try clause, try and exception clause. So when I saw that message, I would just suggest you switch back to using minus std equal to C++14 instead of 17. So the makefile I provide, it says minus std is equal to C++17. But apparently not all the environment, but some of the environment under Ubuntu that C++14 seems to work, not 17. Okay. So those two are the things you need to worry. And then for homework part one, you try to develop this part. This part, now you have an environment, so you can follow this step by step. The first step is try to download the JSON file from this link, and then you use this link. This is, after you download this is the link that will generate the header file. I think, Parker, you have a question that this is the line that's actually going to get you the server part of the .h and the client part of .h as well.
Professor,
yeah, go ahead.
how do you use this line? Because I have an error from right here. Because when I did the make, and then it shows me like the I think corridor CPP and transaction and the other one, but then when it tries to create the .h file, it shows me an error.
Okay, you're doing part two, right? You're getting
one.
my tar file, because this is part one. This is not triggered by makefile, right?
No, I'm talking about part one.
Okay, so let me just clarify. Are you using CSIF or your own environment?
My own environment.
Okay, is this a MacBook or
Yeah, Mac.
It's a Mac. So have you installed the follow this link?
Yes.
Okay. So just double check before we make sure that we're talking about the same thing.
Yes, I
So
have.
you did do this one, right? This wait a minute. You did do brew, right?
No, I tried doing brew install, and then it still said something about no such file or directory.
Okay. So if you haven't done that part successfully, that's why it hasn't installed this command here. It doesn't install this, so this won't work. So that's why you have to install the the um, the JSON RPC CPP using Brew, which you might need to install Brew itself, and then you can have this line. So I think you stuck right there.
Yeah.
So do you have what's the number one? Did you install? Sorry, let me just show you this. Mac OS. Okay, you number one, you should missing package. Sorry about that. Yeah, apparently I used this link. That this is the link I used to install the brew. I think I forgot exactly which way I do it, and I probably just do xcode select minus minus install, something like that. I follow this link to install brew. And Brew is a software package that allow you to do package management on Mac OS environment. So I think that is something which you have problem installing Brew. Is that right?
Yeah. So what to install brew? Do I just type install brew, or do I type this xcode select install?
I think so. Let me try it here, okay? Because I already installed Brew a while ago. I haven't deal with this for a while. So let me actually just double check in front of no, no, let me do Xcode. No, this is just tell you that install Xcode, I think. This is just Xcode, but let me check. This is not the brew installation, but let me check. Xcode minus sorry, Xcode. Let me copy and paste. Xcode select. Okay, it's use software update. Okay, mine is already installed, so I cannot use this line. So if you actually run this code to know your Xcode is already installed, then I think somewhere here cannot be. This is strange. On tar anywhere. No, this doesn't sound right. This doesn't sound right. Let me see. How do I install Brew? I remember when I install Brew, I don't have to do these things. Make the occur minus L. It doesn't make sense. Let me check another link. How to install Brew on Mac OS. Let's try this. Is probably better. I remember I have something looks like this. Okay, you already have this. Are you serious? Do I have to do this? Okay, you probably have to do this. Okay, use this line. Do you have a Ruby on your, I think you should have Ruby already. So okay, use this line. And let me see what I see here. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this script, if you enter this line as I showed this, let me just share the link on the chat so you guys can see this. Chat, where's my chat? Okay, here. Okay, this is the direction that for you to install this, give you the brew environment. And then after you have brew, then you use the link I provide on the homework assignment to do that. Okay, please try that. If you have a question, just ask me after the session. Okay.
Okay.
Will that be okay?
Professor?
Yes.
Okay, so everything for me worked on that. I just wanted to know how to check if part one worked, how to just check.
Okay, to check part one work, that's why the 4 steps that I included, this is really just want to make sure that not just part one work, but also to make sure you have the environment to do part 2. So part 1 really has 2 things, for you to understand JSON RPC, but also for you to know that you have part 1 working. Let me just show you how I did my part 1, okay? And you can see what you're expecting to see. Let me bring the window. No, this is homework assignment number 4. I want to go back to, where did I put my stuff? You know what? I think I know. CD. Oh, I move it somewhere else. Where do I move it to? Do I move it to here? Wait a minute, I moved somewhere else. I couldn't find it. I would just do find spec.json. Oh, I put it in old. Okay. Why do I want to put it in old? Program old. Okay, all right, whatever. I put it here, and that's interesting. But where's my JSON? Okay, I put it here. That's interesting. Okay, fine. I will move. Spec.json here. What? Oh, okay. Okay, I'll just run it here because my spec.json here. So I'm going to follow this direction. All right, so I already got JSON. So let me just get rid of this. So I'm just, first I follow this one, get this line here. Okay, and if you see this, now I have the 2.h file of actually, yeah, 2.h file just get generated. So this was some of you're asking me why you cannot generate this is because maybe your command, that the command I use is this command here, and this command is going to generate those two files. And then I'm going to make a directory called gen, and I'm going to move star.h to gen directory. Okay, so I move it there. Now I have only gen directory and spec.json. Then in the same GitHub directory, you will see another two CPP file, which I have here already. So I'm going to move stub client.cpp here. I'm going to move stub server.cpp here. So I have these two files. So what you should have at this moment is the gem directory, which contains 2.h file, and you have this 2.cpp file that's actually included, go with it. So if you look at the spec.json basically specify all the call you can make remote procedure code. So this one is testing your environment, but this one is also helping you to understand how to specify a spec.json file or EC36B.json, which allow you to have the server and client to communicate. So for example, this one has a function called say hello, has a notify server, add numbers too, and also has a calculate, and has is equal, and the build object, and method without parameter. So you have about 7 or 8 methods there. If you look at the server, stub server, it should have that exactly those 6 or 7 methods. So you can see here, you have your stub server, my stub server has a notify server, say hello, add numbers too, calculate, is equal, build object, and method without parameter. This match exactly with those 7, 8 methods that you would like to establish the connection with remote procedure call. So this one has about 8 of here, virtual function, and below was just their implementation. You implement say hello, you implement add parameter, you implement the rest of the function, okay? All right, so now you have your code, and now to make sure it works, let's just try to compile the code. So let's first try to compile the server part. Server part, just copy this line over here, and then over here, I just compile. Now it get compiled. Now you should see is that now you have this program just get generate called sample server. Now let's try to compile the client. Compile the client is over here. And now you have, wait a minute, what happened? Oh, I didn't compile this. I copied the wrong line, apparently. Yeah, this is a server. Sorry, I need to compile the client. Client is next page, this line. So now I'm compiling the client. Okay, so now you have both server and the client. So you will need 2 windows. By the way, this step is important. It's not going to work with 1 window. You have to have 2 windows. So I create another window. This is the window here. So I'm going to have this window to run sample server. Always the server started first, because if you don't have the server running, then you will get a connection fail. Just like homework assignment 1, 2, and 2A, whatever, small program. If my server is not running on Cyrus, you won't be able to connect, okay? So you run the server, and then you run the client.
Oh, I'm sorry, I have a question. How did you open 2 windows in terminal? I was having a problem doing that.
Okay, so what environment you're using?
I'm using my environment, I'm using a Mac.
Using Mac. So you can
Yeah.
open, you see that you can open terminal, right? This is a terminal, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can do this if you plus this plus sign here, that will give you another terminal on the same. So there one thing, you can actually come here, it will say you can have a new window, you can have a new window, you can have a new tab.
Oh.
You can have a new
Okay.
window, new tab. So in my environment, because I don't like to create too many windows, I just create a new tab. You see, I click this, I will have a new tab. You see, I have multiple tabs here. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, Mac is very convenient. For if you want to use Ubuntu, it's a similar mechanism. Just whether you want to create a terminal, you want to create a tab.
Thank you so much.
But in CSIF, you cannot do that. In
Oh.
CSIF, you have to using SSH to log in to CSIF twice. You have to log in twice in order to do that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. If you have a question with CSIF, let me know. CSIF, I have to create two, both log into CSIF, but then do the same thing here. Okay. Okay. So I already have the server running, and now I'm just running the client, right? When I run the client, you see that the client is actually just generate a bunch of things, and then there's basically getting the result. If you see the server, server got notified, means that there is a call. That's actually coming in. That shows that it will notify that. Okay, so if you saw the roughly like the window, roughly like the result I'm getting here, I think your part one is good in the sense that the JSON RPC library or whatever the executable has been installed correctly. Now you can safely move to part two. And neglect this line. This line is the sample program, which I didn't develop, has a bug. Apparently, it will generate this warning message, but don't worry about that. When I did my development, including the program I sent you, it doesn't have this line because I already tested. It won't handle exception correctly. Okay. So there are two things you should know about part one. Part one, number one, just very important for you to know you have environment installed correctly. But more importantly is because this code is kind of small, and therefore it helps you to understand the mechanism, the plumbing to do RPC, which is especially with the include file and the CPP. By the way, you don't have to put this 2H under the gem directory. It was a convention that the simple program was developed, and the thing is that if you look at the stub client.cpp, it basically the include file is include gen/stub client.h. So therefore, you have to put the stub client.h there if you want to use this piece of code. So it's always these two go together. Okay. All right. Any question with part one?
No, thank you.
Okay. So two things to summarize. To test whether you have an installation correctly, that's important. Number two, for you to see how the code works. So for example, the way stub client.cpp and stub server.cpp, how they were written, and it will tell you, basically, if you look at the HW3 tar file sent to you, it's essentially follow their pattern, except I didn't put the .h file into the gen directory. And if you follow that, you should have your own homeware HW3. Okay. All right. No question. I'm going to terminate the recording and then restart a new recording because the following I'm going to show you the homework assignment number 3, part 2.
Professor.
Okay? Yeah, go ahead.
Quick question. On part one, if you said that on the homework thing that if we do like we should do like the get update and get upgrade and something like that.
You mean the installation of your JSON RPC environment?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to do that. For Mac OS, you need to do this part.
Yeah.
You need to do this part.
Yeah, I typed in get update and it says get command not found.
No. This one is for Ubuntu.
Oh, okay.
This part is for Ubuntu.
Okay.
I mean, apt-get is a facility not available for Mac OS. So Mac OS. So that's why a lot of people like to use Brew, because Brew is good for both Mac OS and Ubuntu and other environment as well. But on Ubuntu, most of the people using apt-get. That's why I'm kind of this is kind of silly for the computing development environment. We have a Windows, we have Mac OS, we have Linux. That's why it's somewhat complicated. So that's why the first question I always ask is what environment you're using, because it's I mean, gradually you will get used to it. Sorry about that. Okay. Well, for your installation, please contact me after class, and then I can probably guide you through step by step by Mac OS installation.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So let me stop recording this and then bring another one. Any last minute question for part one? Okay.